What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 102 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast, and the first ever episode recorded in 2017.
Whoa.
As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by the coolest dudes in video games, Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller. How you guys doing?
Good.
This
Very
feels
well, thank you.
This feels weird.
What does? Being back at the table?
Yeah. Talking at this level, doing
Did
this
you know
whole
that water
fun
will
thing.
boil at 102 degrees?
Oh, shit. This episode's about to get spicy.
Is that what you... That's
how things work.
All right, cool.
When they're hot, they're spicy.
Got it.
How you
Well,
guys
I mean, it's
doing?
just water. It's just hot water.
I know, but I like to spice up your life.
That water will boil at that temperature because it's true. You know it's true, everybody. I'm not saying it's the first point it would boil at, but I'm
First
saying
ever
at
point.
102, that shit is popping.
You're talking about Celsius.
I'm just talking about Fahrenheit. 102 degrees. It's up there. It's going.
No.
It's bubbling.
No, not even close.
Pretty sure
It
it's
doesn't even
69.
close.
Actually, 69.
Have you ever found it funny that your blood is so close to boiling? That's what happens when you get a fever, Colin.
Normally you're at 98 degrees.
Gotta go back to school.
Exactly.
Gotta send you back.
How are you,
It's like
Colin?
Billy Madison. I'm fine. Thank you.
I feel like
Very
we
well rested.
haven't spoken in a long time.
No, I'm good. I'm rested and I'm ready to raring to go. Can't you tell?
Oh, I
Ready
can
to go.
tell.
Raring to go.
Colin's only
you
got
guys
one
could probably
speed.
tell too,
Rare.
because as the time this episode goes live, Colin was right, is now a show that exists publicly
For the masses.
for everybody.
I hope thank you.
Very proud of our boy,
Thank you very much.
Colin
Thank you very much.
Moriarty,
It's been
doing God's work.
It's been an adventure. When I was editing the first episode, which is about Switch, why I'm positive about it, but 3 things that I think they need to tackle, including its lack of power, which I don't think is a problem, and other things. It's funny how I'm becoming more comfortable in Premiere, and yesterday I edited the entire video yesterday from like right before dinner till like midnight because I was just bored, and it's kind of nice to like find these problems and then like kind of just sit and stare at the screen for like half an hour and then I actually fix them. So,
Yeah,
there you go.
And they're not even
Video
like
editing.
major problems. So for some reason, everything was importing from old projects at 67% size, and usually you can hit like set the frame or whatever, and it scale the frame or whatever, and it works fine. But it wasn't working, and then I realized you just had to manually go in and fix the ratio, like the numbers
In your
themselves.
effect control?
And I was like, well, I don't understand that because that never happened to me before. But it's a maddening kind of program, but it's nice to overcome those problems. I'm actually quite proud of myself that I've learned it because it is a little daunting. But I hope everyone likes the show and keep your feedback coming, and we will tailor the show to you.
Yeah, so far so good. People on Patreon seem to have loved it. Let us know what you think of this first episode. There are many more to come. It's a weekly show every Thursday, 9 a.m. But this show is available early on Patreon at patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. You can get it early every Friday, or you can get it the next week late on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. People in the comments have been asking if you can get it early or late, when do you get it on time? You can't. That's the thing about this show. It's just, there's this weird...
Well, no, the
in-between
day-by-day pop-out topics, that would be on time.
Oh, I guess that's true.
And then, because that's how
Damn.
it is, yeah.
We're like a fully functioning service here.
Yeah.
It's like you want it at whatever you want.
Here's my question for both of you.
What is it?
Have you ever had a fever so bad they put you in a tub of ice?
A tub of ice?
Yeah.
I've been in cold baths. But
Before the fever, or just like you got done
During
working
the
out?
During the fever. During the
Okay,
fever.
okay,
I took a cold
okay.
bath. Yeah.
Never happened. I always thought it would happen to me one day. Because I remember a girl in school, this happened. She had a fever so bad. She was hot as well, but she had a fever so bad, they had to put her in a tub of ice. I was like, oh, this is a pretty normal occurrence, I figured.
She came back, she was ugly.
In my
There was a lot of weird things like that, like the whole baking soda and like tomato juice baths and all that shit. Like people you
baking
hear
soda,
about
tomato
things.
juice. I don't know that one. I mean, I know
I don't
tomato juice if
remember.
you got sprayed by a skunk.
Kids did weird shit with baking soda, or parents did weird shit with baking
Baking
soda.
soda?
My parents did.
Oatmeal, yeah, if you have like poison oak, poison ivy.
Yeah, I mean all this stuff.
I used to take oatmeal baths all the time. You get poison ivy.
Oh, okay. I was just like, I thought that was a weird Colin thing.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kind of Funny
covered with poison ivy, my
Gamescast.
friend.
Each and every week, we talk about video games, all the things we love about them, and all that stuff. It's been a while since we've been able to talk about video games together. What have we been playing over the break?
Man, over the break, did Telltale, The Walking Dead, episodes 1 and 2 for season 3.
Spoiler free. Thoughts?
I'm positive on it. I talked a little bit on PS I Love You, so I won't go too much into it. I'm excited to get to a point where we can have spoiler talk about it. I thought it was kind of lame when they announced it. I didn't want to play as this new character. I wanted to be Clem. I actually really do like being this person because now the baggage of Clem is off me. Where I'm like, all right, cool. No, this guy seems like a dick. I'm making all these choices like based on what I'm doing in that moment, rather than, well, how does this affect this? And wait, I've been doing this a long time, and I'm just a little girl too. And how do I play that game? It's interesting. It's like a role-playing thing now where I'm playing a little bit differently because I am this guy and I'm like, well, fuck you. I don't care. I don't care that you're family, you're a dick, whatever. And a really good cliffhanger for episode 2. Did a lot of Hue on the Vita. It's a puzzle game we had over, you know what I mean? The one with the color-based stuff. Really interesting, really fun. Put a lot of time into it, but I'm at the end now, and now the puzzles are getting kind of like slamming my head in the wall. Or maybe I was just tired on my flight, but I was like, I might walk away from it now. But I really enjoyed it. I do recommend it. The other one I did was Shantae, half genie hero.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It came through and I was like, all right, cool. Anything we get Vita wise, I put on my Vita and pop it in. And this one I played for a while and I was like, oh man, this is actually good. I actually really enjoy this. I'm excited to play more of it when we go to Australia on my Vita.
Cool.
When we go there, because I think that I'll still have it around by then. And then as a teaser for next week's Gamescast, I think, playing Yakuza 0 right now and playing Gravity Rush 2 right now. And can't talk about either of those.
Awesome. What about you, Call?
Towards the beginning of the vacation, I finally platinumed Hitman Go, which is a fantastic game on Vita. Really enjoyed that. Then platinumed Lara Croft Go on Vita, which is an abomination of a port.
But an amazing game.
I actually didn't even think the game was
console.
nearly as good as Hitman Go.
It's way better.
But the Vita port sucks. Just absolute trash. The load times are terrible. The controls are terrible. The frame rate's terrible.
Controls I have a problem with. What are the control problems?
Controls, I mean, I tweet about it. A lot of people are having similar problems. The game is angled in such a way, and the nubs are so small that, the analog nubs are so small that things are like moving in weird ways. I died a bunch of times accidentally because of that, and then you have to wait, 30 fucking seconds for the game to load this very graphically intensive game back onto the Vita. So that was really obnoxious, but I saw it through and platinumed it for some reason anyway. And then I spent the lion's share of my time over vacation with Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. I spent about 30 hours, probably a little bit more than that with it. I was really, really, really intensely into it when I got back from Mexico right before Christmas for about a week. And still haven't beaten it yet. I'm kind of right at the very end, and I've kind of backed off, and I'm trying to collect everything because I'd like to 100% the game. I think it's really fantastic. Last week we did or last episode, I guess, we recorded for this. We did the top 10 games or individual games, and I Rise of the Tomb Raider would supplant something on that list for me. I think it's really, really, really great. And as I said on Twitter and on PS I Love You, it's best when it's not trying to be Uncharted, and I think that it does a lot of cool things that are not Uncharted, like even though the game is very similar to Uncharted and very inspired by Uncharted, just like Uncharted was very inspired by old Tomb Raider games. So it's kind of like an endless cycle between those two franchises. But the
when will they fuck already?
I would like for them to have sex, but
I'm sure there's a porn parody out there.
But for me, I think it's the perfect size for a game. I think the maps are just big enough. There's just enough to do in them. The secret tombs are really cool and to go through and I'm not very good at puzzles in games, so I feel very rewarded when I figure one of these things out, and it takes me some time because I'm a little stupid. So yeah, that's what I've been spending my most time with. And then I booted up a couple other games, but I booted up this game Dex on Vita, but it wasn't really for me. It's a side-scrolling, very Blade Runner-like role-playing game. Ran like trash on Vita, so I just deleted it. And then I started playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, and then just didn't feel like I was in the mood for a shooter because I literally played Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2, and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare back to back to back. So I started playing it. I was going through like the intro sequence. I hadn't played it in a long time, and I was like, I'll come back to it. I'm sure it's very good. I heard Raven did a great job on it. So that will go back to it. The next game on the list is going to be Far Cry Primal, I think. I have, which I played for about 10 hours, maybe a little less when it came out, but that's the next game on the docket.
So what does that mean
Gravity
in terms
Rush
of list,
2 I don't
though?
care about, and
Yakuza.
Yakuza I don't care about.
What does it mean that it's on the list? You're going to platinum it? You're just going to beat it?
I'd like to get through it. I was actually talking to Brian Altano not too long ago, and he platinumed Far Cry Primal, and he's not really one to platinum games, so that showed me that he really enjoyed it, and also that the platinum can't be that demanding because I don't think he would necessarily go out of his way to do something like that. That's not the kind of gamer he is. So that's how I spend my time. A lot of gaming, also a lot of TV show watching and reading. So
Tim, what have you been playing?
And shout out to Man in the High
Well,
Castle.
the game that I want to talk about is Super Mario Run.
Oh,
So
see,
it
I was
came
on a
out-
plane, so I couldn't play it.
It's a sad thing, but you were playing it. We were in
Waiting
waiting
for-
to see Rogue One.
Yeah,
sitting there playing
Yeah,
it.
I did that. I
a
did
good
that.
old time. Everyone
Yeah.
in the theater playing it because it was like that was the weekend that it came out.
I think it was like the day, wasn't it? That's why we were all playing. it?
Oh, maybe I don't know.
But
But anyways,
if it
December
came out on a
15th
Thursday, that's what happened.
came out worldwide, iOS devices, and people seem to be really liking it. The people that weren't going to like it in the first place don't, and it does have issues. But what are your kind of impressions of it as a game?
I mean, I'm surprised. As a game, it's fun. It's not for me really. I've played the first Worlds. I bought it. Right, I was like, all right, cool. Like Nintendo, we always talk about, and somebody who's doing and making a quality game deserves your money, and I'll jump in and try it and spend my money, and I did. And I think I'm halfway through the second world or whatever, and it's one of those where number one, it just doesn't. I'm like, okay, cool. Like this isn't the Mario I want, and and this isn't me knocking the game. I'm just setting up why I'm not into it. Not the Mario I want, and then just the fact of like. Yeah, the pink coins, like going back and trying to collect that stuff is just not for me either. I think it does really cool stuff in terms of I like every time, my only friend down there, I think, I don't know if you ever accepted my friend request.
I did.
Oh, okay. Then Jen's just way better than you at it. Because every time I go to a level, Jen scores there, which I think is really cool. Like, oh man, like there it is, you chasing people. And I see people tweeting back and forth about it and them going to get all the coins and doing all these different things. I like that it's got its hooks in people. But yeah, it's just like one of those things of like, all right, cool. Like this is fun and all right. And as you get later, it gets harder and there's more and more stuff going on there. But it's just like, all right, cool. I'll wait for Switch. Mm-hmm. Switch is right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll have my portable Mario.
There you go. Colin, you play it at all?
No, I haven't. I can't even update my phone, so
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
able
'cause
to
you're
download
using
it.
the caveman iPhone.
iPhone 5S that hasn't been updated in 18 months, so
So tell
I
me
don't
all-
have enough room to update it.
So tell me all about it. You've beaten it. You're all in.
I beat it. I haven't done all of the different coin stuff yet. Like I think I got all the pink coins, but I haven't got all the black ones. And there's another color, but I didn't get those yet. But I did beat all the levels, and to me, it's like that. This is what a Mario game should be on
On a phone. Yeah.
because I do think that. When you start talking about like a classic Mario game, it's like nobody wants that. Nobody like you need the tactile control.
There's no
to
real
play
buttons.
this stuff. Yeah. I've been saying this for a long time that this game, since it was announced, looks like the Rayman Jungle Fever and Jungle Beat and Fiesta Run or whatever games that came out years ago. And those are amazing games. Those are some of my favorite mobile games of all time. And I think it's because they didn't think about, all right, how do we make a Rayman game on the phone? They were like, how do we make a fun mobile game that has Rayman as a character, because the UB art engine is beautiful. So it's like seeing it on screen this small, like it really it's a sight to see, really. So that really impressed me. And seeing Mario, I'm like, all right, it's flipping it from horizontal to vertical, which means that you're not getting as much
landscape
and like seeing what's coming up, which is totally different for a Mario game.
True.
Because you're used to being able to see. What's
and that
what's ahead of you.
dramatically changes it, right? Before this, I jumped in to play a little bit more, and it was that thing of like, all right, cool, I'm dead because I didn't know it was coming, and then I get a little bit further and I died again, and then I get a little bit, like on my last life I got there, and then it was like the final, almost, I didn't realize it, almost the final jump, and I just missed it, and I could see the flagpole, but I was dead, and so I was like, nah.
And so for me, when I first played it, it felt weird because I was like, Mario is so much more acrobatic than he usually is. Like he's vaulting and like the way he's jumping and stuff, the animations are like, holy shit, like. In a lot of ways, this is more advanced than the 2D Mario games that we get. But it's like it doesn't play more advanced. But then as you keep going, after the first world, it really opens up in terms more complicated in terms of the level design and the gimmicks that they throw in to stop you, and like the pause, and if you jump, then you go the other way, and all that type of stuff. I think it's really good, and it's classic Nintendo Mario design where it's like, we're going to introduce this thing, you're going to learn how to do it, and then we're going to throw that with another challenge on top of it that's really going to feel like there's a nice sense of a curve when it comes to the difficulty and the sense of accomplishment that you have playing it.
And that was the thing with me in Super Mario Run, is that I played it, when we were sitting there getting ready for Rogue One or whatever, and I enjoyed it enough. But I was like, all right, cool, it's kind of basic. And then even today, playing through a little bit more to be just refreshed on this, it's like, oh, right, yeah, and okay, the World 2 is getting more difficult. They're tossing different stuff in. And I'm not trying to beat a dead horse at all. It's just like, man, what a dumb decision to make it online only. Because I would play this on the plane, and that's the whole reason I didn't play it. It's because I was in Canada for a week where I didn't, I was just hotspot to hotspot. I couldn't connect all the time and screw around. And so then to be on these planes like I was going to New Orleans, going to Canada, I would have tried and done more and actually committed a bit more to it, but then it didn't work, so I went with you.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of being a little bit of an apologist for that about a month ago and when it was first announced and stuff. And I was like, well, a lot of, mobile games do that. And so whatever, just it is what it is when it comes to the AAA space of mobile. But now that I'm playing it, it's like I'm totally flipping on that. And I agree with you where it's like, I don't understand why they made the decision because it seems like it's entirely for all the weird social side of it and the Nintendo stuff.
And that stuff seems like it'd be so easy to store. All right, cool. And next time I get online, when I do land from a plane, all my scores get uploaded and I can go back and I can see you or Jen and see how they did in these levels. Like, why make it so obtuse that I just can't do it at all?
And to me, like it's that stuff is what I'm like, ugh, like why does Nintendo insist on having this second part of the game all the time where it's like there's all this shit that nobody cares about. Like nobody cares about the building the kingdom because there's nothing that it does. It doesn't add anything to anything. Just have some like sticker system where it's like trophies where like you do different things and you get achievements.
Is this the other pipe? I've only done the tour one. I don't know anything about building the kingdom.
Yeah, so there's the tour, which is the game, and then there's like the Toad Rally thing, which is just like a stupid version of the game where you like race against ghosts essentially, and then the Mushroom Kingdom Builder, I don't know what it's called, where you just kind of build your own kingdom, and it's like it's just so well we have a touchscreen, so what are we going to put on it? I remember it's like when Mario 64. Came out on the DS and then had all the mini games, and it was just like, why? This is so unnecessary. Right. Just like make the damn game, and I feel like it does a disservice to the game here because that is the reason that the stuff needs to be online. And it's like, well, this is a game that's designed like many of the great mobile games, whether it's things like Jetpack Joyride or Peggle or the one with the water and the crocodile. You know what I'm talking about? The down the drain, out of water, something like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. Where mobile games have a system where it's like, it's a challenge, you got to get through it, but you can 3-star it. I mean, the Hitman Go is similar. It's like that sense of progression, right? And Mario has it too, but instead of the stars and level, there's the different coins you can get, the different routes you can get. And I feel like that is awesome. They did a great job with all that, but then adding all this other stuff pulls that back from being perfect. So it's like, it's a good step in the right direction. Does it need to cost $10 compared to $3? Absolutely not. I think it's good that they charge that much. I think that it's not going to hurt them in the long run. I think that it's going to get more people to start thinking of mobile games as real experiences, even if this game isn't worth more than Rayman Fiesta Run. Sure,
and also for them to start building this Nintendo mobile portfolio, right? So their next Nintendo game they can charge for, they understand, and people are like, well, there's quality, and they're learning, and they're doing this. Not to mention that I do feel like Super Mario Run, and you would probably know better than me in terms of what they've talked about. I feel like when we complain about this and talk about that, there's going to be updates to this. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility and probability that they're going to come out and be like, all right, it's not online anymore. We figured out a way for this not to happen and store your stats locally and then go and put it all up. Is this the crocodile game?
Where's my water?
This is just a crocodile. Now he's just in a bathtub.
He's doing some stuff.
What's he should be concerned about the water. He needs that water.
Or Angry Birds, any of those type of games. Because then those are the ones, the mobile games that I stand by and I think are great games. Then there's the other side that are the cash cow ones, that are the free-to-play microtransaction bullshit ones that like give mobile games such a bad name.
Sure.
And luckily Mario doesn't do that stuff. But then it's funny because like so much of the criticism now is that Mario Run is not a major success. Financially and all that stuff. It's like, well, it's because they didn't nickel and dime on this dumb bullshit, but it is a huge success compared to the quality game. So
it's definitely a success, right? At getting us hardcore people to actually care about a mobile game and pick it up and be at all interested in it. Like this is one of those ones where I can't remember the last. Like, I mean, everyone was talking about this, right? And I guess Pokemon Go would be the last time I saw our influence, our echo chamber, our Twitter list be everybody talking about these coins and doing all these different things. Brian Altano tweeting about like all around IGN that in the office that day, all you heard was coin sounds of people playing it.
I mean, and that's awesome. And I think the other side of that is that this is the type of game that's getting a lot of people that are familiar with Nintendo to actually play a Nintendo game. Gia played this shit. Gia's still playing this shit. And it's weird. I'll just see her like sitting there playing. I'm like, this is super random and I would have never expected it, but there's something about Mario that's like, oh, okay, even though it's the same game that we've already gotten a million times on mobile, it's like now all of a sudden it makes sense.
It's Mario and it's one-handed, so she can hold the glass of wine in the other one.
Exactly. And she's really good at it. She's not really good. It's a lie.
But you could have just left her. Why'd you do that?
She just keeps it like she just like. I'm trying to tell her how to wall jump.
No, that's not going over well.
Lord fucking help me. The girl cannot wall jump.
I can just see because she's
Keep away
like,
from
oh.
Ninja Gaiden.
But so a big compliment I want to give the game is it reminds me a lot of Sonic 3 and Knuckles in the sense that it is very tier based because there's so much verticality to it. It really is kind of like Sonic 3 and Knuckles or Star Fox 64 in the sense that there's the tiers of if you go high, it's harder. If you go mid, it's medium, and if you go low, it's easy. And I think that it's brilliant level design when you add the coins to kind of guide that path and to be able to see like each level has 3 different levels in it, kind of, in addition to the kind of challenges on top of it. And
would you say that this is them taking some MOBA influences because they have the lanes?
No.
Of course, as Colin knows, as an undefeated esports champion, you got the 3 lanes there. You go
there are 3 lanes, but those lanes, there's no difficulty difference between the lanes.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not the way it was explained to me when, of course, we were playing the best one ever, Infinite Crisis. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
Anyway, I like it a lot, and another thing that I've been saying a lot is that my favorite games are platformers and rhythm games. So there's something about this that kind of melds those two together.
There's a rhythm to it, right?
In a really cool way that I'm totally down with. And I feel like Rayman does a way better job of it. Did you play Rayman Origins and Legends?
The ones that came to
ones on
consoles
Vita?
and Vita.
Well, Vita and Wii U, yeah. all that stuff.
Played those.
Those were great games.
Yeah, so you know the levels where there's the music playing and you're kind of like jumping whatever. The Rayman mobile games were kind of inspired by that. So it is just like very simple button presses, but like they add on to it and there's like this really nice growth of they eventually add a punch button so you can jump and punch and it just becomes this like rhythm platform thing. And I feel like Mario kind of did a good job of taking that rhythm, but then also adding gameplay to it and having the pause blocks and the going to different directions and stuff and really trying to think about stuff and adding a bunch of like nice fun like throwbacks and stuff. Like when you go, there's certain levels where if you cross the right side of the screen, you warp back to the left, and it reminds me of Super Mario 2, like or even the original Mario Bros. And just old or Pac-Man, things like that. So it's like there's a really good game design in this. And it is really fun. I just think that there's too much bloat and bullshit around it to like make it something that is super incredible.
Must have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it worth $10? I can't say yeah. Once they add updates and stuff, maybe. I think that this would have been an amazing $3 game. It's a good $10 game.
Gotcha.
Yeah. In terms of sales and shit. So
There's
according
some
to Wall
stats
Street
on it.
Journal, Mario Run had grossed $30 million in revenue since the 15th of December. Evidently, it was downloaded 90 million times, though only 3 million of those purchased the full game at $9.99. That's a conversion rate of 3.4%, a notable decrease since the game's launch day, when roughly 10% of users were buying the full title. These figures, while pretty good, are nowhere close to breaking Pokemon Go's record of earning 200 million in 32 days. But again, different type of games.
It's cash up front, yeah.
Yeah, cash up front versus microtransaction shit. So we'll see. I'm interested in what they do next, but I think that it was a very important and good move for them going into the Switch to get Nintendo back in a positive light in people's minds and like the mainstream people's minds. And also now everyone has Nintendo accounts, whether or not I'm complaining about it. Like millions of people have accounts that didn't before. So pretty cool.
Once they see how easy it is that their Nintendo accounts link between all their systems and all their eShop games.
I hope.
Great.
I hope.
Don't fuck a Switch.
We got the Switch announcement in 8 days, which means I don't know when this goes live.
This
but
goes live Monday, and you'll fly out Thursday.
yeah, I'm fucking excited.
Yeah?
Are you fucking excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited.
This is going to be
I'm
great.
super interested
Yeah,
to see how
can't wait.
see if they fuck it up.
Please don't.
I don't think
Please
I don't think they're
Nintendo.
going
I
to.
don't think so either.
I think this is
I
gonna
don't
be a good
either.
thing.
I feel good. I feel super good about it, actually.
They're making all the right moves. They're touching me in all the right places.
Do you think they come out on the same day as Mass Effect, or are they going to try to swerve around? Does that matter? You think? Where's that
That's
all falling?
irrelevant.
Yeah.
If Mass Effect comes out the same day as Switch, that's bad for Mass Effect, not Switch. The
What if it's on Switch though? Oh!
According to IGN, it's not.
It's not on Switch. Yeah, I think Nintendo is making a lot of smart moves. I was very heartened to see the 3% conversion rate simply because conventional wisdom on mobile says that Nintendo would have made more money, as we saw with Niantic and the Pokemon Company with Pokemon Go, had they made it free to play. And people were saying that it wasn't nearly this meteoric success in the time given. But I would argue that Pokemon Go requires much more maintenance and upkeep. It's not. I'm not saying Mario, this new Mario game is necessarily a static product, but it is not this geolocated, constantly adding new shit to it, constantly having to deal with server problems and people kind of coming on and all these kinds of things. I would say that Nintendo is probably very pleased with the amount of money they made, the net profit that they made on the game. and everyone also forgets Miitomo, and between these three games, they're just experimenting with different things. The mobile market, as I've argued many times, has really destroyed expectations for what video games should cost, and there are certain companies that are trying to buck that trend. I think we saw that a little bit with our friends at Chair, but we saw that more notably, I think, with Square Enix, and now we're seeing it with Nintendo, where people are saying like, well, a premium game should be worth a premium amount of money. And my biggest takeaway was all of the kind of gathered tweets and Facebook messages that people were circulating when the game came out about how people couldn't believe that the game was $10 or whatever. And it's like, you have to just shake these people up and make them understand that the race to the bottom has been very destructive and that you cannot have games of quality on a mobile platform for no money. And so I think Nintendo's doing good work that is stewarding a new way to look at games on mobile platforms that will be to the benefit and help of other publishers and developers moving forward. The more of them get involved, and the more of them that dare charge more money and maybe eat a little bit of shit at the beginning in order to set the new precedent for the ecosystem, I think is very positive. And it's really cool that Nintendo's doing that. And I wouldn't have expected a couple years ago that Nintendo would be the one, like the phalanx, basically. So
Remember Phalanx on Super Nintendo?
the game? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the real person on the box, right?
Yeah, the old guy with the banjo.
Yeah. Yes. How can I forget? Was that a Natsume game? Look that up for me, won't you, Kevin? PHALANX on SNES. I want to say that was a Natsume game, or maybe even an NX game.
I'm sorry, PHALANX.
ANX. Phalanx. We're just going to wait for Kevin to figure that out.
Kevin's on it. Don't worry.
Big Kev Dog?
Big Kev Dog?
It was Natsume or NX. Because that's what made it even weirder.
Yeah, that's the game.
Oh, no, it's not. It's Kemco. Yeah, this is I knew that this was one of these weird fucking companies. Do you remember this, Greg?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know the box art. I never played the game, obviously. I didn't have a Super Nintendo.
What the fuck were they thinking with that?
But I remember the box art for sure. This is like one of those classic box arts.
Fucking love
As soon as you said the guy with the banjo, I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah. All right.